So what we gonna talk about? Yeah. They say they care, but do they really though? It's beyond their ability. Is it really though? They say they care. We know they really don't. It's all a front for show. They do it all for show. They set the world on fire. They let it burn slow. I was just cruising the street. I was looking for something to eat. I was trying to get some sleep. I'm trying to make it beat. My family's struggling for me. My family needs what they got. My family eating no sleep. My family eating no streets. My family. It's a PSA announcement. They say they care, but they really don't. Kamikaze twist the turn like a burno. We keep on blaming the media and blaming the government. You say you want freedom, do you really don't? You give them your rights away and then you give them more. Money coming in different ways. Don't say you poor. Don't say you helping these kids and then you close the door. You ain't no better than politicians, you hypocrites. Use your power to make a change and make a difference. All this talking you're saying ain't saying much. They say they care, but do they really though? It's beyond their ability. Is it really though? They say they care. We know they really don't. It's all a front for show. They do it all for show. They set the world on fire. They let it burn slow. They set the world on fire. They let it burn slow. Yeah, they let it burn slow.
We're gonna get to the bottom of it. Dark
They let it burn slow. Put your left arm in, you take your left arm out. You put your right hand in, and then you shake it all about.
Yeah.
You do this hokey pokey, then they break you on down.
Oh.
That's what it's all about. Hey, you put your left leg in, you take your left leg out.
That's right, Mega.
You put your right leg in, and then you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey, then they break you on down. Hey, that's what it's all
we're gonna get on
about.
the Mega.
Hey, don't be so basic and practice on your greatness. Life don't work like that. Gotta be amazing. I've been down and out. I know what it takes to be on top right now. I know I'm your favorite. This is hip hop and politics and relevance. This ain't J6, but it's an insurrection. I took Jack Smith and Barney Willis. Prosecutions to the next level. I got MAGA triggered in a state of shock, cause the time is done. The Proud Boys got 22 for seditious conspiracy. What happened to Back in Blue? He told you to march to the Capitol and he would be there too. Officers died and you wanted to hang pins too. You said Biden would lose, he beat Trump too. You say you wanted the truth and now you got Zeus. So who's the Marxists and communists and fascists? Let's see.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. And they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special Saturday edition. Yes, that song, They Don't Care. Yeah, that's a song I had to write because, you know, I noticed there's a lot of fake rappers out here, these MAGA rappers. They dress up in costumes and things like that. So I got to let them know Zeus has something to say as well, all right? So, and we will be putting and increasing the heat on MAGA going forward. Thank you, Peachy, for the subscription. Ladies and gentlemen, I decided to go live on today, Saturday. Normally I take today off, but there's too much going on, and I need to draw a lot of attention to this, all right? So, you know who this is, Cassidy Hutchinson, all right? She has a book that is coming out, I believe, on the 26th called Enough. And normally I don't want to promote people's, brands on my platform, because I love to promote what I do. But what is coming out based on her testimony, based on her disclosing, thank you, Brother Alex, based on what she's been disclosing, it's cause for an alarm, right? Right. Good morning, Shay. Good afternoon, I should say. Yeah. We have somebody who was in the Trump administration disclosing what Donald Trump and his thug of supporters were doing. All right, we got things going on from the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. We got things about Rudy Giuliani essaying her. We got MAGA trying to burn documents. They tried to burn them. MAGA does. This is what MAGA does. Yesterday I was in a live with my good friend on the right, HVAC, and actually Clickbait. They came in the box, and Snuggles was in the comments. By the way, Snuggles can't go live because he keeps getting convicted on TikTok, right? He keeps getting those convictions. Perhaps if you told the truth more, Snuggles, you wouldn't be in TikTok prison, all right? But I consider that a prelude of things to come for a lot of you Trump supporters. Yeah, if you're getting suspended on TikTok, that's evidence that you probably would get convicted in real life. That's how I'm playing this game, right? All right? All right? So I got to disclose some of the stuff that Cassidy Hutchinson has put out so far because I want us all to do what we can to try to protect Miss Hutchinson, because you know what MAGA does. They turn on their own, right? MAGA turns on their own when a Trump supporter comes to their senses, right? And they start to get fearful of doing time for Donald Trump, and they start cooperating with prosecutors. They start cooperating with the FBI and stuff like that. All of a sudden, MAGA starts to attack them, all right? Because they don't want the truth to come out. All right. And so what we're going to do is make sure we know the truth that Cassidy Hutchinson has put out so far, and do all we can to increase awareness about the MAGA folks that are trying to attack her and silence her. She doesn't deserve to be silenced. No. All right. She doesn't deserve to be silenced because she's telling the truth about Donald Trump and his crimes and his dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds. All right. She went on to start off by saying this: I would not like to be a hermit. All right. And this is what she says. She doesn't want to be a hermit. A lot of people are saying that I am upset right now. I am upset because I'm still getting a lot of ridiculous statements coming from MAGA, right? They want to relitigate 2020 election. They still want to debate what happened on January 6th as if we are stupid. Nobody believes Nancy Pelosi is responsible for organizing the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. And if you believe that, I got something to tell you. You are a prime candidate for hell. These Trump supporters, I don't know if Clickbait is here, but I said, please, if Donald Trump was such a good president, Clickbait, this is what I said to him. Please explain to Zeus why Donald Trump didn't get a second term. I said this to Snuggles too. Why didn't Donald Trump get a second term if he was such a great president? And you know what? These liars, these are some real tough liars, all right? Well, Zeus, you gotta understand, the FBI coordinated with Nancy Pelosi, all right? They coordinated with China, all right, to release the COVID virus, all right? And then once they released the COVID virus, Zeus, they turned around and they hired folks like Shay Moss out there in Atlanta and all of these other people to steal votes from Americans. Okay, so if that is true, how do you explain those folks who are in prison again? Explain, are those people that are in prison out there in Washington, D.C., are those people Antifa, BLM, FBI informants? And if so, why were they listening to Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani and Mark Meadows? You know when they said this, right?
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy.
Remember?
And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you.
Right.
We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Oh. Right. So that's the...
And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them.
Right.
Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
Right. So they wanted me to believe that when Donald Trump said that, right, he was giving a speech to Antifa, the FBI, and BLM, all right? And, of course, that's not true, all right? MAGA refuses to accept facts, so we're going to make sure they know the facts, all right? All right? Oh, no. There's nothing else to play. We've heard enough. All right, you want me to play the part where he said, let's have trial by combat? Is that what you want me to play? All right? Because that's about it. Let's listen to what Miss Cassidy Hutchinson said, all right? This is very critical. All right, and I want this truth. I want her story to get out here so that the rest of the world knows what really happened in the White House. All right, don't listen to these fake folks that were never in the White House, these fake Trump supporters that aren't in prison. Real Trump supporters go to prison. All right, anybody that says they're a Trump supporter and they weren't boots on the ground on January 6th, they're not a real Trump supporter. They're fake. They're fake. The real Trump supporters got to be willing to go to jail and give Donald Trump all of their money. You got to go on all your social media platforms and brag that you were there on January 6th. All right. Ashley Babbitt was a real Trump supporter. Yeah, she was. And she found out the real consequence of being a Trump supporter. All right. Hey, Gina, nice to see you. And if you think I'm being mean, I'm not being mean. I'm actually being very nice today. I used to be a lot nicer, but I'm being very nice to MAGA today because I understand it's not about MAGA. It's about those who don't know the truth. All right, Cassidy Hutchinson, 26. She dropped out of sight last year after she testified in a damning detail in a nationally televised committee hearing about President Donald J. Trump's actions after the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. Facing blistering social media attacks from Mr. Trump, right? I thought we were protecting women. Whatever happened to women for Trump? All of a sudden, Donald Trump is attacking women. And why am I not surprised? Look at him. He's already been convicted, all right? He's been convicted, all right, of S.A. E. Jean Carroll. You know, these folks like to say 0 convictions. Well, if you got 0 convictions, why are you paying $10 million? All right, if you're innocent, why are you paying $130,000 to Stormy Daniels behind your wife's back? You ain't nothing but you ain't innocent. You're a dirty, low-down dog. All right, so Donald Trump and his supporters, they attacked Miss Cassidy Hutchinson, all right, because she testified in Congress by, simply telling them what Donald Trump was doing. Some 15 months later, all right, the one-time staff member in Mr. Trump's West Wing is heading back into the maelstrom with a new book called Enough. And I got to make sure I promote her book because I think it's important we all listen to her story. She has no reason to lie. And I know I got folks out here saying, oh, she's just saying this because she's trying to get a book deal. And to those hypocrites, and they know exactly who they are. How many of you think she's doing this just to get a book deal? How many of you think Miss Cassidy Hutchinson is doing this just to get a book deal? Any Trump supporters out there that think she's doing this just to get a book deal? All right. Mike, I'm not talking about the 94 crime bill, and it wasn't Biden's 94 crime bill. It was a bipartisan bill that was passed by a lot of people, including blacks. So cut it out. Well, if you think that she's doing this to get a book deal and that discredits her, all right? If you think that this is her doing this to get a book deal, well, then you got to have that same energy for Tara Reid, right? I don't want to hear about Tara Reid, all right? Tara Reid is a lost cause as far as I am concerned. Yeah. And I hope I'm putting a Trump supporter to sleep right now. I heard somebody say, Zeus, I'm falling asleep. You're telling too much truth. Yeah, that's what it's like when you go to church and you got to listen to the truth, all right? So I don't want to hear about anybody trying to get a book deal because these are the same folks that'll sit back on their platforms and bring up Tara Reid. And you don't want to talk about Tara Reid trying to get a book deal, all right? You don't want to talk about Tara Reid defecting to Russia to be with her Lord and Savior, Vladimir Putin, right? So I don't want to hear it from you MAGA traitors, all right? So in her memoir, she talks about Mark Meadows, Trump's last chief of staff, okay? On a recent event, she spoke on her Washington high-rise with the blinds of her living room open about her life. She says, I would not like to be a hermit. But she added, I am not a victim in any of this. I did what I did, and I knew what I was getting myself into, right? If anything, becoming a target of MAGA, right after publicly disclosing what she had learned in the White House, was perhaps the least surprising thing that Ms. Hutchinson had encountered over the past 3 years, right? Some of her most vivid testimony of the January 6th committee was her description of an angered and enraged Mr. Trump. Get this. I'm getting upset. I'm getting upset again. Mr. Trump hurling his plate of lunch across the room after hearing Attorney General William Barr say he saw no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election. Let's give Donald Trump a round of boos and shame.
But he's a harasser and an abuser.
All right. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a harasser and an abuser, right? And like I say, every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. So when MAGA calls people names and when they get out here and they spread lies and misinformation, this is what I'm talking about. He threw a plate of spaghetti at the wall in front of Miss Cassidy Hutchinson because his attorney general told the truth that there was no widespread evidence of voter fraud? Yeah. Anybody that supports Donald Trump after hearing this, you deserve whatever comes to you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart all the way up. I don't feel sorry for anybody that goes to prison after this. No. And this is coming straight from the horse's mouth. This is coming straight from the plug. All right. Many of you from the streets know what I'm talking about. I grabbed a towel. This is what she did. I grabbed a towel and started wiping the ketchup off the wall to help the valet out, Miss Hutchinson testified. Both in print and in the conversation in her high-rise, she described a journey down a political rabbit hole that might have tested the psychological stamina of a more seasoned operative. It was one in which loyalty to Donald Trump surmounted all else, to the point where White House staffers routinely laid leak traps. She's saying they spread leak traps all throughout the White House in hopes of discovering who was feeding information to the media. Once Mr. Meadows asked Miss Hutchinson if she would, quote, this is what he asked. Mark Meadows asked Miss Cassidy Hutchinson if she would, quote, take a bullet for the president. What? And then she said, perhaps in the thigh. And she had to nervously joke about this. What kind of administration is this? This is definitely a Marxist, communist, authoritarian, fascist, communist regime at work. Would you take a bullet for the president? Wow. No. Jay, kid, she is not a liar. She was there. How can you say she was a liar when you have never worked one day in the White House with Donald Trump? You're so quick to defend Donald Trump and you've never done anything with Donald Trump. The only thing you've done, Jay, kid, is send Donald Trump your money. But you're not a real Trump supporter to me. You're not. Because like I said earlier, real Trump supporters are boots on the ground when it came to January 6th. And the fact that you're sitting out here a free person, I don't buy it. You don't love Donald Trump. Jay Kidd, let me ask you, Jay Kidd, would you take a bullet for Donald Trump? Jay Kidd, be honest. Put it out there. Please say yes, Jay Kidd. Would you take a hot one for Donald Trump, Jay Kidd? And if you say no, then you're not a Trump supporter. All right. See, this is what I'm talking about. These folks out here, they playing. These ain't really no Trump supporters. These are some wannabe Trump supporters. All right. All right. Now it goes on to say, it was by her telling an administration awash in paranoia, with Mr. Meadows and others refusing to dispose of daily litter in burn bags, right? Now we're getting to burning documents for fear that someone from the deep state might intercept the contents. Instead, she writes, Mr. Meadows, and I just posted a video about this. Mr. Meadows burned so many documents in his fireplace in the final days of the Trump presidency that his wife complained to Miss Hutchinson about how expensive it had become to dry clean the bonfire aroma from his suits. This is what they do. No wonder MAGA doesn't have any money. Not only are you sending Donald Trump all you got, good morning, April, or good afternoon. Not only are you sending Donald Trump all you have, but you're using your money to pay for covering up your crimes. All right? His dry cleaning bill is gone through the roof. I mean, goodness gracious. How much money does it cost, Mark Meadows, to the point where your wife is complaining that you're just burning so much evidence? By the way, Jim Jordan, James Comer, all right? Since you love opening investigations and frivolous ones, perhaps you could look into why Mark Meadows was burning documents. What does he have to hide? I'm pretty sure we're going to have evidence of what he did on January 6th in there, all right? Just like we got his email. And I'm pretty sure we might even find some classified documents. You know, the documents Donald Trump sold. For all of its obsession with secrecy, the Trump White House was also strangely unpoliced. She writes, particularly in the waning days of the administration. On January 15th, 2021, Ms. Hutchinson encountered Mike Lindell. Yes, Mike Lindell, the conspiracy-minded MyPillow entrepreneur, roaming the building unescorted, declaring, "We can still win." Sounds like Snuggles. Roaming the White House unescorted, saying we can win. Thank you, Just Peachy. She saw Representative Matt Gaetz, a far-right Florida Republican and a Trump ally, under federal investigation at the time for sex trafficking, right? He showed up without an appointment to the lobby, Mr. Meadows, and guess what Matt Gaetz was looking for? Oh, he was looking for a pardon. What a shame. Mark Meadows walking around the White House looking for a pardon because he's guilty of something. You don't look for a pardon unless you know that you're going to be charged with something or you possibly have been convicted of something. So once again, we've caught MAGA once in their hands with the cookie jar. And if you think, any Trump supporters out there, and you're going, it's just the DOJ taking advantage of Donald Trump. They're trying to attack him. I want you to imagine, let's take Matt Gaetz out. And what if I were to say, you had Hunter Biden walking into the White House looking for his dad to get a pardon? Would you then say the same thing? And most likely you won't. Ms. Hutchinson goes on to say, Rudy Colludi Nasty Giuliani, the former mayor who also pled not guilty to racketeering and conspiracy charges for trying to overturn the 2020 election, he also groped her under her skirt. Like a wolf closing in on its prey in a tent behind Mr. Trump's speech to supporters at the Ellipse on January 6, 2021. This is what they do. For those of you who think she's lying, let me give it to you like this, all right? And this one is for you, Curly. I want you to imagine this. I feel his frozen fingers trail up my thigh. Imagine, Curly. Imagine this, Snuggles. Imagine Rudy Giuliani's frozen fingers trailing up your thigh. You think she's making that up? You think she's making that up? What part do you think she's making up? The fingers that are frozen or the thigh part? Which one? You said, God forbid, huh, Toy? Oh, my goodness. All right. So this is what's been going on. But what most defines Miss Hutchinson's swift ascent and sudden estrangement were her two superiors, Mr. Meadows and Mr. Trump. Coming from a working class and politically disengaged family in Pennington, New Jersey, Miss Hutchinson was a college sophomore when she first attended a Trump rally in 2017. Wow. I was maybe 6 rows from the stage, she recalled, and I was surrounded by all these people I felt I could relate to. That included the president, who coerced and boastful rhetoric sounded to her like her father, right? Trump reminded her of her father. A self-employed landscaper aficionado of The Apprentice, Mr. Trump's long-running reality show. Even today, Miss Hutchinson seems somewhat at pains to understand how she fell so deeply in the sway of the president she now describes as dangerous to our democracy. Yes, Miss Hutchinson, ladies and gentlemen, she's came out of the fog and she's starting to open up. Well, she has. She's opened up her mind. She's opened up her eyes, and she can now see clearly the dangers of Donald J. Trump. And he's very dangerous to our democracy. Listen, I see there's some dissension in the comment section. I don't get why MAGA is upset that I'm simply amplifying Miss Hutchinson's truth. Why are you getting upset, MAGA? This is a woman who was in the White House working next to Donald Trump. All right? If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like me carrying her words out here so that people can make a decision for themselves, then you can leave my live, all right? You know, it's like I always say, listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
That's right. All right. Miss Cassidy goes on to say this. In my mind, at the time, she said, I felt like January 6th largely happened because we didn't do enough to stop it. And that part right there is why I decided to get online. Because I wanted to make sure MAGA understood that. Not one time has Miss Cassidy Hutchinson amplified any of the conspiracy theories that you Trump supporters continue to spew to this day. Not one time did she say, well, you know, it was Nancy Pelosi who threw a plate of spaghetti at the wall. It was Nancy Pelosi who lunged over, Secret Service and grabbed them by the clavicles, all right, and demanded that they take her to the Capitol. Not one time did she say that. Not one time did she bring up Ray Epps, right? Not one time. So why do you continue to do it? And I'm going to tell you why MAGA continues to do it, all right? And then I got to open up the box, all right? Because I'm ready to hear from those of you who are brave enough to talk about this very, very, this is a topic that's near and dear to a lot of people, all right? But why do you think Miss Cassidy Hutchinson didn't bring up Nancy Pelosi, Ray Epps, the FBI, BLM, or Antifa, MAGA? And I'm going to tell you very clearly why. Because if she did, she would be lying. And that's just the God honest truth. All right? All right. So now I'm going to open up these boxes. All right. And let's hear from those of you, this is the weekend edition. It's an emergency live, but you know what I think is very important? That I get the truth out here and make sure MAGA understands why President Biden is most likely, I got a very high degree of confidence, going to be reelected. Why? President Biden will be reelected again. and MAGA will suffer the consequences. And we will not rest. We will not stop until every single Trump supporter is put in prison. Yeah, you know, especially, well, mainly the criminal ones, I should say, all right? Because it's very important that they get held accountable. And a lot of people say, well, Zeus, does anyone think I'm being too harsh with MAGA today? By show of hands, does anyone think I'm being too harsh? Does anyone? Because if they are, then I'm going to ask MAGA, the one that just got offended by what I said, well, take back what you've been saying. How about that? Can you stop saying President Biden needs to be impeached? Can you stop saying he broke the law? Can you stop attacking Hunter Biden? Huh? Can you do that in MAGA? They can't. Exactly. And the offer still stands, right? I have an offer. They said, Zeus, you got TDS. They say I got TDS. They say all you do is you talk about Donald Trump so much on your platform, Zeus. Why? And I said, because Donald Trump is the living example of hypocrisy that we all can look at, point at, and use as an example to help people struggling to see just how toxic they are, right? And MAGA, because of your allegiance to Donald Trump, we're going to use him, all right? Okay, to help you understand just how silly you are looking out here. All right, now I used to be a lot nicer and I used to be a lot kinder to MAGA. I really did, but I refuse to be kind or nicer to MAGA anymore because the gloves are off.
Everyone knows and I wouldn't have said this 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't have said it. I was actually very kind to him.
I was
very kind to him, but now we can't be kind anymore because the gloves are off. The jar has been opened.
Right. So when the gloves are off and the jar is open, we got to speak very direct and be very blunt about what we're saying, all right? And somebody reminded me that I haven't done this exercise in quite a while. All right, so before I start to check in with someone out there, I want to make sure I cover this. A lot of people are saying that I've been getting paid by Soros. I didn't know I was getting paid by Soros, but all bags are welcome, all right? So if I'm being funded by Soros, let's just deal with that, all right? If they say I'm a Democrat operative, I am. Listen, I would be a Soros-paid Democrat operative any day of the week before I ever became a MAGA, seditionist, treasonous traitor, all right? Fake patriot, Vladimir Putin loving, fake hypocrite Christian, all right? Any day of the week, all right? So, please keep that comment to yourself. I don't need you telling my personal business out here, all right? And by the way, I want to make sure I let President Biden get off too, and let you Trump supporters know where we stand, all right?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Right.
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backward, and they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections.
And for President Biden to be able to hit those points very clearly just speaks volumes to how many steps ahead he is when it comes to Donald Trump and MAGA. Today I woke up, I looked at Donald Trump's Truth Social. He's in tears. He had a MAGA meltdown over President Biden because President Biden is going to go stand in solidarity with the union auto workers, and Donald Trump can't believe it. Yeah. A real president is going to go stand with Americans as he has been doing. And speaking of standing with Americans, all right, I want to make sure I let you Trump supporters know what some of President Biden's accomplishments are. Should I read off President Biden's accomplishments? Should I read them off? I haven't done it all week. week. All right, I think it's been 2 weeks since I read them all. Should I read them all so that MAGA understands why Donald Trump is a loser? All right, and why President Biden is a winner. All right. So let's get this started. All right. I'm gonna open up the box and hear from those of you who are brave enough to tell the truth. But it's very important. It's very important that I amplify the voices of truth out here using my platform, because I know once I go into these conservative lives, the moment the truth starts to come out, they start yelling. Have you all seen that before? This is a tip. All right. You know it's the truth when you start saying it, and the Trump supporters, they start to get all worked up and they start seething at the mouth and foaming at the mouth. Their faces get all, visibly, tense. Just keep on going. Just slow down and just ease on it. Just keep on pushing the pedal down and giving them a little more truth until they have what we call a MAGA meltdown. All right. So let's start off with some of President Biden's accomplishment. First of all, historic confirmation of Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown, a black woman. Yeah. Oh. Appointed the first black woman to be vice president. I gotta say this. It is also equally impressive that President Biden, he did 2 victorious terms under President Barack Hussein Obama. That definitely deserves a round of applause. He got some swag off of Obama, all right? Because listen, when he went on the Breakfast Club and he said, listen, you're not black if you don't vote for me. Oh, that's some of that Obama swag. And by the way, for those of you who are offended by that statement, you shouldn't be. Because what he was basically saying is, listen, if your black behind is out there voting for Donald Trump, you're voting for your worst interest. All right? And you know what? I would do it too. If I would have been there. Listen, if there's any black folks out there that support Donald Trump, please do me a huge favor. Please do Zeus a huge favor. Raise your hand. All right. Any black folks out there that support Donald Trump? All right. Raise your hand. All right. And surrender your black card today. Surrender it to give it to Zeus. Give me your black card. All right. Any black folks out there vote? Surrender it. Tender it over to Zeus. All right, and go and get you one of these white privilege cards that I hear some of our friends on the right are selling, right? And then I want you to use that white privilege card and go buy something great. Go buy a house. Go buy a nice car. Go buy some love. Go ahead and show us just how far you can get. All right, because listen, a sucker is born every day, and you ain't nothing but a new lick. Yeah. All right. What else has Biden done? Oh, he helped bring those gas prices down after a summer peak in 2022. All right. Passed $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure package to increase the investments in the United States infrastructure. Let's go. Help give more than 500 million life-saving COVID-19 vaccines in the arms of Americans. Wow, stop the 30-year streak of federal inaction on gun violence. By the way, did you see the news yesterday? The new, what did he call that? Gun, whatever that building was. He passed something to attack gun control. I don't know the name of it. $369 billion investment in climate change. Yeah, that's for those of you who think, global warming is fake news, right? You think global warming is fake news? Well, how fake is $369 billion investment in it, right? All right. Ended America's longest war in America by getting the United States out of Afghanistan. Oh, provided college debt relief to Americans with loans, student loans. This is why Biden's going to get a second term and why Donald Trump is going to prison, all right? This is exactly why. Very big difference, all right? Cut childhood poverty in half through the American Rescue Plan. Oh, yes. Oh, where are my Latinos for Trump? I got these folks that come in here and say, Latinos for Trump, or blacks for Trump, where are they at? Let me say this. Achieved historically low unemployment rates after the pandemic caused them to skyrocket. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 3.5% unemployment rate, the lowest in 50 years. A near record low unemployment rate for Hispanics. A near record low unemployment rate for African Americans. Oh, and record low unemployment rate with people with disabilities. Oh my goodness. Oh, what else has Biden done? Oh my gosh. He strengthened the NATO alliance in support of Ukraine after the Russian invasion by endorsing the inclusion of world military power, Sweden and Finland. By the way, I had a Trump supporter yesterday. You should have seen this live. They were really unhinged and deranged. They didn't know what the purpose of NATO was. They said NATO was used to help fight in World War II. And I got something. Listen, and I got something to say for those of you who think Donald Trump could, fix the situation over there in Ukraine. I'm with President Zelensky. If Donald Trump has the solutions, all right, to stop what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, why hasn't he shared that with the rest of the world? Why keep that information to yourself, MAGA? Oh, I get it. Because he doesn't. He's most likely lying, right? So yeah. And by the way, NATO is not because we needed to get help with World War II. NATO, we got to use it because we got to help stop Russian aggression, all right? We know from the lessons of World War II that if you don't check communism or these authoritarian governors or leaders, if you don't check them, then there's a tendency for them to engage in very atrocious things that cause great harm to the United States of America. All right. So if you think that the United States should get out of NATO, all right, anyone out there that thinks that, and if you think what President Biden has done by strengthening our alliance with NATO is wrong, if you think that we should not support Ukraine and that we should take those same dollars, well, not just dollars, really not dollars. Most of it's military equipment and stuff like that. If you think we should take the resources that we're allocating to Ukraine away from those folks over there who are fighting for freedom, you know what? Won't you do me a huge favor? Pack your bags and leave the United States of America today.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country,
you hate our country.
If you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S. all the time, very simply, you.
Hey, April, how are you doing? Good morning. Or good afternoon.
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just getting the truth out here so that folks understand what's really going on.
Well, I wanted to join because of Cassidy.
Oh, talk about it.
So sick and tired of these Republicans, these men, these women that support Trump not believing women. I'm so sick of it. Poor E. Jean Carroll, what she went through, the defamation, the slander, she had proof.
Right.
And I'm so sick and tired of them treating and taking women's rights away.
Right.
What the heck?
That's what MAGA stands for. Hypocrisy. They take away women's rights. And they think that they're doing the right thing when in reality is they're doing the works of evil, right?
Yeah, and her books, she comes out and says it now, and she didn't say it then, but a lot of times you're put into situations and you can't do anything about it, and you're young, impressionable, you don't know what's going on, and then when you realize what's really happening, then it's over and done with it, and then, you just talk about it.
Yeah.
But she was in a position, and I believe, she was threatened. Would that gang of people in there, Trump, McCarthy, all these people.
Right. So you believe what she's saying is true, right?
I absolutely believe her. Until she gives me a reason not to believe her.
Thank you.
I believe her.
And I
So
agree with you.
that's the way it should be, because too many women get abused, attacked, essayed, all this stuff,
Right.
and nobody believes them, and that's why they don't come forward.
Yeah. And you know what's even worse, April? Isn't it worse when other women discredit women like Miss Cassidy Hutchinson? Can you explain why that phenomenon occurs?
I have no idea. I guess the fascination with Trump is blinding them, or I have no idea why women think that. You need to believe, because it's proven. I bet 9 out of 10 women in this live right now, Zeus, has had some kind of essay done to them, whether it's been as a child, as an adult, some sexual harassment, some essaying, some whatever. A woman has to deal with this constantly, and they're never believed. That's why they take so long to come out.
Yeah.
Because of people like y'all. And that's why it continues to happen, because of people like y'all. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's
You're not
sick.
lying.
And then, you know what? Do what Zeus says. Leave. Leave. Leave it to the good people of America. We'll do just fine without you. Leave.
Exactly. They can go to Russia.
It's ridiculous. I don't get it, Zeus. These people that don't believe women.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, just because they want to support someone so much. It's in their heart and their soul that they're willing to throw a woman that says this stuff happens under the bus because of their support. It's ridiculous.
Evil.
The man's a criminal. Nobody did it to this man except himself.
Right.
And you all are blind not to see it.
You're right. And they don't take the victims seriously, right? I mean, Cassidy Hutchinson, she's just the latest woman to actually get her truth out. But there's been a laundry list of women that have came forward and testified and discussed just how much of a harasser and an abuser Donald Trump really is. I mean, even E. Jean Carroll, they don't believe her.
No, and then what about we seen the court documents of the 13-year-old that put Trump with Epstein.
Wow.
And they still don't believe it. A 13-year-old.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, Zeus. They don't believe nothing. They're blind support of this man. Just like I said, they go with the horse blinders on. They don't see anything around them. That's it. They see nothing but Trump. And
Until it hits
just
home.
makes no sense.
Until it hits home, then all of a sudden they have a different tune, don't they?
Yeah, but just watch. 2024, just watch. The House is going to be blue. The entire House. The Senate. Congress. And the White House.
You feel that strong?
I feel that there's an uprise of Gen Z that's going to wipe these millennials that are for Trump, that's going to wipe these boomers out, that's going to wipe everyone. Gen Z is in second place for the population.
Ooh.
So it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And they're going to see what they've done. And you think they're going to stand by and take this guns, everybody carrying a gun, don't need a permit, don't need this and that?
No.
Gen Z is going to take care of these people.
Good. And they rightfully should. Because these folks don't deserve to be in any elected positions. They really do need to sit down and repent. They really do. Or pack their bags and leave the United States. I'm in favor of sending MAGA to Russia, China, North Korea, or any other country.
Well, I was watching this live, and I was watching the comments coming up about Cassidy, and that's what made me come on. I was busy cleaning house and stuff, and I was keep looking at it while I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm so sick, Zeus. I really am. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of women not being believed.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're getting the message out here, because it's a two-part, right? One, we need to all recognize this issue and do our part to make sure we do believe women that have the courage to come forward, because it's a lot. It's a lot for a woman to build the courage to go up against these powerful elites, Donald Trump, Mark Meadows, John Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, and say what exactly was going on.
Absolutely.
That's
and
tough.
that's why I appreciate you so much. And I hope everyone has a great day.
All right, all right. And you too. Have a great day and keep cleaning and thank you for the truth. All right. No lies detected. All right. This is what we're doing. All right. All right. Let's get to it. We got a few more people in the box. All right. All right. All right. Let's go. All right. Gina, Spencer, greetings. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are
I'm
you?
outside with the dogs and I
All
was
right.
listening to you guys. And I
All right.
definitely believe her because it happened to me when I was younger. And in in the 80s, no one said anything because it was just a boy being a boy or a guy being a guy.
Wow.
And it was my so-called friends. I thought they were friends. I went to their house. I wanted to just hang out.
Mm.
And they did stuff that I said no. Yeah, I just wanted to know.
Wow. I'm so sorry you went through that. I mean,
Yeah. It's like I never really told anybody. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell anyone. I was too scared because I blame myself.
don't
And
do
now
that.
I'm brave right now because of the women that speak out, like April and whoever. It just.
Yeah.
And then I ended up marrying an abusive guy, but now I'm safe in a safe relationship. But
Good.
I was, so it pisses me off that there's men like Trump and Rudy Giuliani because they're pigs. I worked for them too.
Right.
And they had their rude jokes. They thought they were funny, but they weren't.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Can I ask a question? What could we do to help people that are, terrified and afraid to come out and speak against these kind of things, right? Because a lot of people don't come forward like this, but when they do, what could we do?
We should help them. Get your friend, if they know anybody that they went through, just take them and talk to them and just do anything, let them be brave. Take them to the police. Nowadays, they'll listen.
Mm,
Back then, they're like, oh, it's your fault.
mm. See?
But yeah.
See? You see how that works? This is what you listen up, men. This is why we do what we do over here on this side of TikTok. We don't let Donald
There's
Trump get
people in
away with.
here in your comments, sorry, like
Oh,
saying such rude stuff to you, calling you names, and it just, I can't, I know you don't block people, but I block them for my FYP because they're either trolls or they're just disgusting humans.
yeah.
You know what I
And I don't blame you, for doing that, all right? Because you got to maintain your peace of mind. You got to
mean?
safeguard your mind, all right? And I don't ever want anybody to put themselves in a space that is unhealthy. You know what I mean?
I
But
know
I've been doing it for a while, and I got a strong defense for MAGA. I really
well,
do.
we need more men like you and
Well,
less men like Snuggles. No offense, I know he's your friend, but
no. He can handle his own. Listen,
he should not be advocating for such a pig. He should know better
he
because
should.
I heard he was a victim of something in one of the lives, so
Yeah,
he
he
should
did.
know better what abuser looks like, right? Am I not right, Trump? The things he said, what he could do, it's just disgusting. No,
Mm.
no men should say things like that about women, and
Yeah.
it's just rude.
It's
I mean,
his space, and I don't want to go too deep on but it reminds me of a person who has been a victim and now is the abuser, right?
yes,
Because on one end, when you're a victim, there's that struggle, but then, I would think you would also have to make sure you do the work on yourself to make sure you don't go to the other end of it, which is becoming an abuser, right?
exactly. That's why I rather help people. And I'm not like I have PTSD. I can't be in crowds too much, and I get nervous. I have my
Right.
dogs; they calm me down. Because of what.
No, no, no. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing, protecting your mind and keeping yourself safe and uh, amplifying these voices that need to be heard. All right. And I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it. I'll do all I can to help. All right.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and I know there's good men like you, and I only am friends with them. Like I
Right.
want all the help I can get because I'm not a man hater. I swear to God, when guys say that, all you liberals hate men, and that is so not true. I just want you to say that because they make me sick when they say stupid
And when
stuff
they
like
say
that.
that, what they're saying is I'm not a real man. I haven't done the work on myself to make myself a valuable member of society. That's what they're saying. All right. And I can tell you that because I didn't do the work for a while and I used to be in their space. All right. I used to think
Yeah,
like these animals. All right. So I know what animals think like. This is why MAGA gets in trouble when they come talk to Zeus.
exactly. I can't wait to get my shirt. I'm going to wear it proudly.
All right.
It's going
All
to
right.
say, cut it out. And I'm going to tell that because I talk to MAGA people, my neighbor. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to wear that shirt all the time. Every time I see him, I'm
Thank
like,
you.
cut it
Thank
out.
you. Yeah, yeah. Because MAGA isn't MAGA. They're losing.
Yeah.
The MAGA movement. It came and it went. It's over, isn't it?
I can't wait till it's like totally over. I just want him to go away. I'm sick of him.
Oh,
Once he's gone, we don't have to talk about him, but we have to get our message out, like you said. And I'm glad you're here doing it because if we didn't, if we were silent, then he would win. So we're speaking out against it. And
there you
you
go.
are doing such a good job.
Yep. Yep. You're absolutely right.
Thank you for letting me in and, because I need to
Yeah.
just get my piece
You're
out.
doing all right. And thank you for coming in and delivering that truth as always. All right. And take care of my good friends out there. Those nice, cute puppies, those cute
I know
dogs.
they love you, Zeus. They love good people.
All right. All right. All right. And I love them too.
Have a good day.
All
Bye,
right. You too.
everyone.
All
Thank
right,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Spencer Cooper. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Have a great day.
All right, you two. See, what I represent, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's no accident, right? A lot of people think, I'm getting paid by Soros, which is fine. They think I'm a DNC operative, which is totally fine. And they think I'm a liar, which is totally fine. All right. But just because they think that about me, it doesn't make it true. What they know, this is why they keep coming back, Zeus. This is what one person said in the you're an enigma, Zeus. This is what they told me. It's something about you, Zeus, I can't quite figure out. And I have to say to them, you haven't seen anything like this before because it's not too many real, and this is what I gotta say, real honest men out here who have acknowledged their failures on multiple fronts. All right. A lot of these men out here, they think because they've experienced success in one area of life that somehow gives them permission to be experts on all topics, right? That's what they think. Zeus, I have a lot of money. I'm the smartest person. No, you're not. Because here's the thing. Money is one thing, but your health is another thing. And I've seen over the course of my life, a lot of people with a lot of money, when their health is on the line, they would trade their health. They would trade their wealth for their health. I'm right. This is real. All right. A lot of people who thought they had a lot of money and it could do a lot of things for them. I've seen those same people get down on their knees. Grown men on their knees in tears, crying as the judge, many people think a lot of people think the gun, right? They say that's the most powerful weapon you can get. No, the most powerful weapon that I've seen is this gavel. When a judge is sitting there and you're in the courtroom deciding what to do with your life, your future, and these defendants, they go into the courtroom and the judge starts handing out life sentences. Bam. You know what when that gavel comes down, you know what that does? It don't matter what you got in the bank account. It don't matter what your name is. It don't matter what your race is. It don't matter what your religion is. When that gavel comes down, you know good and well it's over. So that's why when I get out here on this app and I do what I do, I try to really do it from a genuine place. That way I ain't got to worry about too many other things going crazy in my life, right? And it's obvious you're impressed, especially to the MAGA folks out there that says, I just love coming into Zeus's live. It's obvious to you that Zeus has done some of the work that's required to get himself together, all right? And that's why you're impressed. You've never seen anything like this. It's quite an overwhelming experience, right? let's bring up our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Auntie Ree, welcome. How are you doing? Auntie Ree, how are you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry if I get loud, let me know. I just wanted to suggest something for the people who question if they should report an assault to the authorities, especially if it's a woman. I actually had to report a physical therapist, and I thought, this is gonna go nowhere. I mean, it wasn't like it. Anyway, the situation blew me away so badly that I had to contact a mental health worker and get them to go with me, or get them to arrange a meeting with me with somebody who had the authority to do something about this person. So, and I know that our local police departments here in my state have started an initiative where they actually have a mental health liaison.
Right.
And that person is designed to help with things like this, so that you have a reliable voice backing you up when you make a report like that. So there is hope, and we are making advances as far as holding these people accountable. We have a lot of work left to do, but that's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to assure you and anybody that's listening that might have that question in their head, should I report what happened? You should report it, but do whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you're more comfortable taking someone with you to report it, that you can have witness your report.
Thank you.
So
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I like that you didn't say keep it to yourself, because that's the fear I got. Is a lot of people, when they go through this, they feel like if they don't got anyone to help them through it, that's the best thing to do, is just to keep it to themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with this type of harassment for most of my life, like from teenage years on up. I have been assaulted as a teenager a couple of times, and never would have said anything to anyone because, of course, that boys will be boys thing was a big deal when I was a teenager, a big talking point that was fed to us girls. We're brainwashed to believe that no one's going to believe us. So it's really important that you do what makes you feel comfortable, and don't let anybody tell you you can't have your feelings about something that happened to you.
Exactly. And that's a very good point to make out here. And I appreciate you having the courage to come up and, share that perspective with us.
Yeah, it did give them excuses, Heidi. It really did. That boys will be boys stuff gives them excuses to think they can get away with whatever they're trying to do. So I'm not going to keep you.
It's a form of minimizing the violence, right? They try to minimize the impact of it.
Yeah, it's gaslighting the women. It keeps us quiet. It keeps us in pain for way longer than we need to be. We don't deserve it. None of us deserve it.
No one deserves to be abused. No one.
And men don't deserve it either. But we're talking, Cassidy Hutchinson. She was braver than all of those wealthy and well-connected men who got up there and said, I plead the fifth. She went out to Congress and said with her whole chest, he did this. So
bravery. This is the face of bravery, is what you're saying.
Right. And we should be standing with her.
Yeah.
If we see something wrong, we should just make a sign and go stand outside their offices every day until they hear us.
Yeah. I mean, because, one of the things that I found interesting was her age, when she said that she kind of was seduced by the Trump movement, right? She said Donald Trump reminded her of her father, right? I think she was like, 25 or 20-something when she was at the rally. And so you can imagine at that age how young and impressionable she was to be put in that situation and then to be propelled into the White House and then be in a situation or a space like that where the president of the United States and all of his friends are behaving inappropriately, going against her true moral fibers, and she's struggling to figure out how to manage, how do I deal with that?
But kudos to her for figuring it out and for saying, I'm not going to be afraid of your hatred. Like, they think people fear their hatred. And with a lot of them it worked. Look, it worked with E.G. and Carol for years.
Yeah. But, one of the points that I think we got to give her credit for beyond what she's done is out of most of those men that were around her, she's the one that had the strength to stand up to Donald Trump, right?
Correct.
That's pretty impressive, right? That's very impressive. Which is why...
that brings to mind the fact that a 24-year-old woman has bigger balls than all those men. So, you have a good Saturday. I was on my way somewhere. I had to pull over because I didn't want you to hear my loud car. But...
have fun today and keep doing what you do.
Thank you. You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Auntie Reed. No matter how many Chevys you get, MAGA men, you MAGA men are in trouble. Oh yeah, Miss Cassidy Hutchinson, she's got your number figured out. You wouldn't have the balls to stand up and tell Donald Trump to sit his loser behind down and take the L. Right? You mean to tell me there were no MAGA men that went into the president's office and said, "Sir, you lost. Fair and square. Own it, be a big man, put your big boy pants on, and shake President Biden's hand and engage in the peaceful transfer of power." No MAGA men had the strength. Y'all disappoint me. And they still. All right. And they still disappoint me. There's still weak MAGA men out here afraid to tell Donald Trump the truth. I see your clickbait, all right, but I'm going to let the women speak before I get to your behind clickbait. All right, Annette, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Hey.
All right.
Nice
All right.
to meet
How are
you.
you?
Yeah, so like the women before me, I am one of the millions of women that are survivors of, attack. I think for the men, especially the men that, just sort of like rally behind him, it's actually a thing called sympathizing with the aggressor. They see themselves as weak and they believe that they're powerful if they can see the situation from the side of the aggressor. It's false, but that is actually a very common exercise among people. Thank you, April.
Wow.
I actually wanted to jump on about Ukraine.
Okay.
For all women, for all survivors, for all victims, for all people to come forward to report, I am of the mindset that we trust but verify. Unfortunately, people do lie, and the people that lie make it harder for the actual victims to come forward and use their voice to be heard and be safe, which is shameful. So as far as Ukraine is concerned, you hear all of these Republicans like, I don't know why we're helping him. I don't know why we're sending money to Zelensky. In 1994, starting in 1992, we had the Lisbon Protocol, and we had a bunch of non-proliferation treaties to help reduce the amount of nuclear weapons that are available all over the world.
Right.
In order to receive the protection of the United States, it was the United States, Russia, I believe France and England, who actually signed the treaty. Along with them, the Ukraine people agreed to give up their nuclear weapons, their arsenal, in exchange for protection.
Right.
This was done 30 years ago because people have short memories, because people refuse to look things up and want to sort of, I hate saying stick their heads in the sand, but really be just woefully, willfully ignorant.
Right.
They don't want to know what the truth is, and the truth is the Ukrainian people receive our aid and our protection because we agreed to do that.
Wow.
The fact that we're willing to betray our allies is shameful. We saw what Trump did to the Kurdish people. The Kurds fought and destroyed ISIS. ISIS was gone. ISIS was lost. They allowed Turkey to attack them, and within those attacks, they ended up blowing up prisons and releasing these same terrorists back on Europe and the world.
Wow.
So if there's an ISIS attack, you're welcome. Your freaking Manchurian kumquat is 100% responsible for that. It happens on his watch.
Tell him. No. She's not lying. And if you think it's old
I am
news,
not.
and if
It's
you
called
think
the
it's old
Lisbon
news,
Protocol.
huh?
It's the Lisbon Protocol.
Yeah.
And a 1994 non-proliferation treaty, nuclear non-proliferation treaty.
Tell them.
So please feel free, trust but verify. Look it up. I don't
Yeah.
expect anybody to trust me blindly.
No. You're doing all right. See what's going on, and again, like I say, when you start telling the truth, they start complaining. That's when I say just keep pressing on the gas pedal with these MAGA folks. All right, because they're gonna hear this truth. I don't want no Trump supporter to get to either prison or hell and say they didn't know. I don't want them to be able to have that excuse. All right, so at least I know. And we got it in this live.
Thank you, T.
All right, we got it in this live that you informed them. All right, so there's no excuse for their ignorance.
Leading the polls, the smuggle in your comments, leading in the polls means absolutely nothing. It simply means that those who are willing to follow someone who literally betrayed our allies all around the world is who you're willing to follow. And shame on you.
Yeah, shame on Snuggle.
It speaks more about your flawed character than it even does about him.
And that's deep. That's deep. So Snuggles, again, it speaks more about your flawed character, you and clickbait and HVAC. But I'm starting to like HVAC. His live yesterday, he let Zeus speak, and as much as he was lying, I still got to speak. Unlike your live, Snuggles.
Thank you for having me up.
All right.
Thank you all for the gifts.
All right. You're welcome, Annette. Thank you once again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right.
Thank you, Zeus. Bye.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Listen, MAGA men, there's two issues we're dealing with today, at least. One, your behavior. Your conduct needs to change, you MAGA men. And listen to these beautiful women who are coming in the box and sharing the truth with you, all right? If you would listen, you might do better in the polls. I'm being honest with you, and I shouldn't tell you that because I don't want to help you like that. Greetings, Cece. How are you?
So today.
I saw you muted Snuggles. What was that about?
Because he's just out of control today.
Oh.
And I don't know if you've been, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know if you've been to his, on his page, but he has another video of Michelle. Yes.
Snuggles has another Michelle Obama video?
Yes, a newer one. AI. Yes. I didn't respond. I didn't remark. I just wanted you to be.
Where is Shay? Where is Shay? Shay,
Yeah.
could you please go fact check this? I mean, I believe Cece, but I need you to weigh in on this, Shay, because Snuggles needs to learn. Please continue, Cece.
So yes, and he's also got an arrow pointing to her hand on her stomach. I mean, this is the reason why he cannot keep alive up. Because of all his dirtiness. It's dirty. I mean, I like Snuggle and all. I just don't like what he's doing, okay? But enough of him,
Exactly.
And I was in your live with HVAC and and all that last night.
Well, that was HVAC's live, but I was there.
Yes, it was interesting.
Athena.
Very interesting. But I wanted to get back to, what you were talking about earlier, and April brought up that, you don't have to be touched. There are other ways that someone can do something to you.
Right.
It happened to me twice when I was in the 6th grade. Something took place, no touching, but something did take place.
Right.
Enough to make me aware that it was wrong. But Zeus back then, they didn't do anything about it, really.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate part, right? I mean,
yeah,
it was status quo, at least from when I was growing up too.
Yeah. I mean, I told my mother about it, and she made sure that he was never around me again. But as far as, doing anything about it, she never told my father. I think she was afraid that my dad would really beat him bad, but she never did. And then again, when I was 17, another uncle, with just trash, trash.
Wow.
And then thank God, that my daughter survived what she survived while jogging in a park in North Carolina. And a man came from behind a tree with a gun and dragged her into the woods. And needless to say,
I'm so sorry that happened.
He was caught, and he had done this to another lady in California. So he went away for a very long time.
Wow.
So some good things come out of it. Some things, just don't ever pan out, but they will get their day. It will catch up with them. They will get their day.
In terms of that incident, how did you as a family work through that? I'm just curious. If you don't mind answering, if I'm going too far, just let me know. But I'm just curious.
Well, I think deep down, I mean, there was never any psychological help. I asked my daughter, to do that, and she said that she was okay, that she didn't think that she needed it.
Wow.
That was her decision. She was older.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I go, no, nothing like that was done. No, it was just.
You didn't do any for yourself?
No, I was so young. I was just so young. I knew what was going on was wrong.
Right.
But it really never affected me mentally, I don't think. It could be buried deep down. And, we all go through a lot growing up.
Right.
And yes, I had a not so lovely childhood, because of father, not mother. Mother was the best. But didn't have that great of a childhood with dad. And I think we all, we all needed help at that point, but it wasn't talked about. It wasn't talked about. We talked about things that took place in our home amongst us, but as far as going anywhere,
right,
and getting help, and that's, that affects you. What goes on in your childhood really affects you into your adulthood. It truly does. I mean,
and a lot of people, they don't take accountability for that and do the work, right?
Yeah, right.
And at least for me, I can speak in terms of understanding, unless you work through your own personal issues, you're gonna project that and put that onto other people, and continue this nasty cycle of abuse. I call it abuse, right?
Yeah.
And this is what the issue is, and this is why. And I hate to bring it back to politics, but that's kind of where I'm going with it. This is why we got to hold the MAGA folks accountable. This is why I'm so serious about making sure that they are held accountable. And if that means prison time, so be it. Because once we get them to take accountability for their conduct, we can stop this nasty cycle of abuse that's going on in the world of politics. And right now that MAGA demon, CC, it's mainly in the MAGA men, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, there's some women out there. I can't really, I know what they're, I can't, everyone's capable, but the MAGA men especially, they
And,
refuse to do the work on themselves.
you know what I say? It's mostly older, white, Southern.
Get that?
Older, white, Southern. Yes, sir.
No
Yes, sir.
detected.
And these women
Poker dad.
are listening to them. Well, guess what?
What's that, CC?
It ain't no man gonna tell me who or what I'm gonna vote for.
Amen.
Not a man, not a woman, nobody. Nobody. So you little snowflakes that want to listen to your white Southern men, go for it. Go for it. You know, I live Maryland. Maryland is a we just got a wonderful governor. He's wonderful.
Right.
And he has just passed something. I didn't get to read it yet, but he's passed something for our children in the schools.
Oh.
Yes, it's a good thing. And that's what everybody should be concentrated on is our children.
Amen. Amen.
Look what we're bringing them into.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, Cece, I want to thank you, my good friend. All right. We got to move on because Zeus has other things to do.
Okay, I know you got clickbait down there. I'm ready to get
I'm going to get to the MAGA men after I hear from all the women first.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm getting ready to get that.
Because I know that these men need to listen, and that way when I'm talking to them, I can point out what I'm hearing today to them so that they take accountability for their conduct, all right?
Got you. And you tell your good friend Snuggle to take that video down.
Well, I asked Shay to go check on it, and she did. So I'm going to bring Shay up and get her summary or get her a review of what's on his profile. Because I would hate to think Snuggles is out there behaving badly.
Oh, he's always behaving badly. But hey, we got to love him for now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, buddy. It's good talking to you.
All right. All right. You as well. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful CC. Listen up, you MAGA men. I want you to hear from all these beautiful women that are coming up and having the courage to share just how abusive you've been. All right. And I want you to take notes. All right. And recognize that there's some work you need to do. All right. In order to be a better human being, regardless of your politics. All right, Shay, what do we got? Good afternoon.
Hello.
All
Yeah,
right.
good live. I'm actually at the beach house with my girlfriends having a nice weekend. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'll show you the scenery.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. All right, I really am.
It's all good. So yes, I went and looked and I found it. He actually tagged you and Handsome Liberal in it. So I'm just curious what his point was to tag two black men in that awful post about our first black first lady.
Snuggles?
I'm just curious what the point is. He doesn't want me to call him a racist, and he gets all upset about that, and you know, how dare you, and can't believe she called me all of those things. Well, Snuggles, if the shoe fucking fits, it fits, dude. Like, sorry, but it's absolutely disgusting. You know what you're doing. Otherwise, why would you tag Handsome Liberal and Zeus in that video?
Yeah, you know I don't want to have nothing to do with that evil.
I mean,
do you think Snuggles, do you think he's really a hurt person, perhaps, who's looking for attention, but he's going about it in the wrong way?
Yeah.
We don't got to use Snuggles, but let's just look at these MAGA men in general. Do you think a lot of these MAGA men are hurt?
Yes, I do. I think they're fragile. They're extremely fragile. They don't like strong, intelligent women, obviously, as to why he's attacking Michelle Obama.
Got it.
He just doesn't like seeing that kind of success and that kind of love for people like the Obamas. He doesn't get it. And then, he wants to act all innocent and stuff, and it's my right. And, and then he says that his page is for the Republicans. And so he's making it entertaining for them. And okay, if that's truly what you're doing, but what you're doing also is spreading hate. So, I don't know what to tell you, but it's a ridiculous photo, and it's not even a real photo of Michelle Obama pregnant.
Wow.
And, Michelle doesn't need to release any pregnancy photos to appease the haters. There's no need to do that. Everyone knows that those babies are hers. And everyone knows that she was pregnant. Barack Obama ran for office in Chicago. Everybody knows the family. So the only people bringing this up is after they've been out of office or when they got in the White House. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Michelle Obama talks about her infertility issues with Barack, and how they had to use IVF to get pregnant and all of that. So she shares her entire journey only for people like Snuggles to do what he did,
I think Snuggles needs to, hear this feedback and really do a lot of soul searching.
He doesn't care. I mean, bottom line is he doesn't care. I made a very addressed thing to him. He still didn't take it down. He doesn't care about what he does.
Nasty.
He thinks this is funny. It just shows you what place he is in his life and what kind of content he wants to create.
Nasty.
And again, my question to him is, why did you tag Zeus and Handsome Liberal in it? Yeah. What was the point? That's my question.
Is he still here?
I think so. You still here, Snuggles?
Maybe one of the mods muted him. He probably, Snuggles. Why did you want to tag Zeus in that nasty nonsense? Shame on Snuggles.
I'm waiting for him to comment. I'm not seeing him. He was all about the polls with me just before I got up, so I know he was here.
Yeah, he's probably deleting it now. And if he does, he'd be doing a good thing. All right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope he does. It's just silliness. It really is. And what's the point? I just don't get it.
You would think these folks, if they're really winning, they wouldn't have to resort to something.
Yeah. I mean, the Obamas are out of the White House. They're not on social media telling the Democrats what to do. They're not doing any of that stuff. No. He's afraid of me, Spencer. And by the way, Spencer, I'm so proud of you, girl. You did great coming on this live, honey. I could tell you were a little bit nervous, honey. So we all got your back, darling. Keep speaking your truth and everything, sweetheart.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to say you did great, honey. Okay. And I'm a victim of SA as well. And April is 100% right. Women are never believed. It's very scary to talk about it, to come out and do what Cassidy Hutchinson is doing is extremely brave of her.
Right.
And for people to knock that down because you don't like hearing it, or because you just refuse to believe that any of that would be happening, is you're being very closed-minded. And there's no reason for her to come out and lie. She doesn't get anything out of this.
No.
And that's the thing. And what was I going to say? There was something I was going to make a point on. I love how my brain just clicks out.
What's going on and you're on vacation, and I get it.
I know, right? I'm looking at. Oh, let me show you my view. I don't know if you can see.
Hold on, we can see. Hold on, let's see.
If you can hear the lovely ocean.
Wow, you're doing all of that under President Biden's administration?
Staying in this gorgeous 5-bedroom beach house. I am thriving with Biden. I am. I'm really doing it.
You got some eggs in there.
Yeah, we're staying on front property. Got our own little personal cause, little bridge right here over
Yeah.
to the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, we're front row.
Wow.
It's
Look at
nice.
that's sand.
Isn't
Wow.
that gorgeous? No, this is Galveston, y'all. This is Galveston. It's only an hour from my house, which is
Mm.
nice.
You see that?
Yeah.
So you're saying you can afford to go on vacation
Yeah.
while
I can
President
afford it.
Biden is running the country?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to Beyonce tomorrow night.
Oh my God.
Going to concerts, going on vacation. Kids are in college and private school and doing okay. I'm blessed. Not bragging, just saying that, it's not what they want to paint it to be. It just isn't. People are going. Look at the ticket sales with, Taylor Swift and Beyonce and all that. People are going out. People are buying things. Consumer confidence is up. The stock market's up. Everything's up. Unemployment's down. Inflation's coming down.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So, but anyway, I'm not surprised he did it. It is what it is, but that's my biggest question. Why did you tag those two gentlemen? And then,
Yeah, don't try to hide
don't
under
make any
the
sense.
I have nothing to do with that. But people tag me in all kinds of stuff, so I don't always get to it.
No, exactly. And, and Biden is coming up in the polls and things are happening. We've gained 22 seats in the last special elections.
Amen.
And, yep, things are looking good for the Democrats. So he wants to talk about the border. Listen, the Republicans can solve the border if they want to.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Get in there. You got control of the purse. You can pass an immigration bill. Get to it.
Get to it, please.
Biden's not going to stop you from doing that. He'd be more than happy for you to help out with the border or the immigration issue.
Exactly.
You to step up. Let's go. Come on, Republicans, do something. Let's go. Stop crying.
Please,
yeah.
Mac.
Go get your hammer and your saws and your wood and go build a wall. Go on. Go on down there and build a wall.
Tell them.
See if it'll work. Yeah.
They don't want to do that because MAGA is too lazy. The MAGA men, men, they're too lazy. They're sitting at home on their couches watching Fox News with a six-pack on their belly and possibly some plain Lay's potato chips, complaining.
Not the plane.
They do. They eat those plain Lay's potato chips. Every time I go to the store, I see that they're sold out. I'm like, who's eating? Oh, Trump supporters, right? They say there's gonna be a civil war, and I say, well, most of you are out of shape. It's not gonna be a good look for most of you Trump supporters.
Yeah, the gravy seals. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Since I just find it hilarious. I mean, it's sad, but it's hilarious all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it is sad and it is hilarious, and we're gonna keep holding their feet to the fire. All right, Shay. But I appreciate
it. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Love ya. Have a fabulous rest of your weekend.
All right. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Shay. I hope we're learning something today. I really do. All right. We got a couple more, and then clickbait. You're hanging in there. All right, let's go. All right. Good greetings, Kim. How are you?
Okay, she just made me absolutely jelly.
Right.
I know where she's at.
I
know where she's at, and didn't invite me. That's messed up.
I know, right? I know, right? She's living the dream.
I mean, she already doesn't live that far from me. Damn, girl.
Right? But it's good that we're able to get out and not just be on TikTok like some folks are complaining, right? It's nice to see our friends are out here living and having a good time.
You know what? Okay, that whole thing about what Snuggles did is deplorable, especially when he has a daughter. I mean, I don't know how many times he's talked about his daughter with us.
And you go back with Snuggles quite a bit, right?
Yeah, so do you. So, I mean, for you to do something like that put your daughter in that same light. Would you allow that to happen to her? Would you stand by while something like that happened to her? No, you wouldn't. You'd be up in arms, you'd be wanting blood. So for him to think that that's okay to do, knowing that you have a female child, I mean, it makes me think, do you really feel the same way?
Right.
And if you don't, then why put it out there? I mean, I just had a conversation with my 11-year-old granddaughter this week.
Wow.
He came over and was telling me about how a young boy in the 6th grade said that he was going to make her gag. I could put you like that.
In 6th grade?
Yes. And I hit the roof. I mean, I was like, and what did your daddy do? Because I know my son. My son is not going to stand idly by and allow, something like that to happen. My son would be, I feel sorry for that kid and his parents. But, they took it to the principal. She went and talked to the counselor and the principal about it. And the principal was just like, if it happens again, the kid's gone. Okay. But the thing is you have 6th graders.
Right.
Saying things like this to young ladies. Okay, just another 6th grade female.
Wow.
What do you think you're learning that?
From their homes?
Exactly. You think
that's where my mind goes, right?
I mean, it's if it's
their neighborhoods.
If it's being said at home, being seen on the news, thinking it's a norm to do.
Donald Trump, perhaps.
I mean, but the thing is, it's just regardless of where it's coming from, it's being done. So let's call a spade a spade. I don't care if it was from Democrats, Republicans. I don't care. But to have any young man think that that's okay to do,
right? Especially
a 6th grader, come on. It's like no home training. It's like and it's like it makes me wonder, where's your mother? Because if your father thinks that's okay,
right?
Where's your mother? What is your mother's stance?
So that goes back to kind of what I've been saying, right? I mean, we're trying to make sure people know when they're experiencing abuse and things like that. It's important that you speak up, and for those of us who are in a position to actually address it and call it out, we should. But how does that sit with folks who excuse people who are engaging in abusive conduct?
Exactly. It's like accountability is everything.
Right.
You're accountable for your actions. Oh yes, most definitely. Because if you want to hold this person's foot to the fire, be prepared to have your feet on call.
Exactly.
Because you cannot sit there. It's very hypocritical. How are you going to sit there and be the one that throws stones if you live in a glass house? You can't do that. If you're going to say something, you better make sure you're above reproach.
And this is why we have to have these tough conversations out here with a lot of people who are so quick to try to blame other people, but blind when it comes to their own failures and mistakes. This is why we do this.
She was actually afraid to tell me because when my youngest said something to me about it, I was like, "What?" I mean, the immediate look on my face was probably fearful for her, but at the same time, I'm like, "Baby girl, I'm not upset with you at all, by no means.
Right.
I'm upset with this," and I explained to her, "I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the situation. Correct. I want to know what the situation was, and I want to know how the school handled it because I know your dad did something." I said, "But don't think that I won't go to that school and tear it down brick by brick." Because that's my grandchild.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I am not going to sit idly by while you have something like this happen in a school and then you don't do nothing. The administration does nothing about it. I'll be I swear to God, I'll be on the 6 o'clock news. Right. Because simple fact that I'm not going to allow you to do this to a child, no matter whose child it is. Because if it's not my child, it's not my grandchild, whose child is next? Yeah. So, she was just like, well, and I was like, no. Just tell me. I said, just tell me what's going on. And I said, explain it. And my youngest was like, you got to tell her. You got to tell her.
Don't be afraid to speak up.
Right. And I told her, don't ever be afraid to open your mouth. If you feel that something is wrong, you scream it from the rafters until somebody hears you. I don't care. I said, I don't care who says what. This happened to you. This is your truth. If that means you climb up on the highest bell tower and you scream it, you let it be known, because if you don't say something, it can happen to somebody else and it can be worse.
Right.
I said, so don't be afraid to say things. Don't be afraid to stand up. Don't be afraid to stand up and say and shout it. Hey, this isn't right. I said, because things change. Yes, I'm a grandmother. I don't look it, but I'm a grandmother.
Who's questioning?
No, it's his grandma. Somebody put on their grandma. But I'm like, it's just, I can't, being when I was in the military, being harassed. But at the same time, my attitude is totally different because I'll turn around and harass you right back just to let you know how it feels. I'm like, oh, really? You think that's cute? Well, how about if I do it to you? And see, a lot of times when you get the script flipped on you, people are like, whoa, hold up.
Yeah.
And then they realize exactly how bad, how uncomfortable it can be. But I mean, it's just like, if you don't want to listen to me tell you stop, I don't appreciate that. And you want to keep going. Don't get mad when somebody pulls a you on you. That's all I can tell you.
Tell them.
And I don't have a problem doing it.
It's important that, we recognize boundaries, right? And I think this is kind of, to me, what's interesting is that, we're talking about Miss Cassidy Hutchinson and her scenario and how the situation she was in, I didn't realize, but it's a good thing to point out. It's one a lot of women understand and can empathize with her on, right? Yes. And it has a lot to do with abuse, and it has a lot to do with boundaries. People don't want to respect boundaries. People feel entitled.
No, and like Cece was saying earlier, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be mental. I mean, and I think the mental, personally, I think the mental is worse than the physical. Because the mental is a complete teardown of your character. You know what I'm saying? That is a teardown of who you are, and that to me is far worse than the physical.
There you go.
The physical is bad, but when somebody mentally tears you down like that, mentally makes you feel like you are nothing, make you feel like you are not, that you are this whipping post. Mentally makes you feel that way. That is a scar that's to the soul.
Exactly.
Physical scars heal, but mental scars are to the soul. They are to the core of who you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, so any kind of abuse, no matter what it is, it's always going to be harmful, whether somebody's calling you names, it doesn't matter. People need to learn how to take themselves out of their own little comfort zone, their own shoes, take that step back and put themselves in the other person's shoes. Empathy. And that's the biggest problem that we have in this country is that
a lack of empathy is what you're saying. Yeah. So maybe that's another thing that folks can take from this discussion. Please have more empathy when you're talking to folks out here. All right. Now listen, Kim, I got to bring up our next guest.
Anyway, so.
All right. And it was a pleasure talking to you. All right. Let's give the beautiful Kim a round of applause. We're going to keep the door to the floor. All right. We're getting these truth stories out here. All right. And I appreciate every single person that's been brave enough to come up here. All right. Now we're going to check in with Shady Lane and then Clickbait. We're going to have a tough conversation. I hope you've eaten your Wheaties this morning. All right. Shady, how are you doing?
Good morning, afternoon. I don't even know what time it is. It's Saturday.
Yeah, right. I don't know either. It's actually noon. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, it is noon. So this conversation is, it's a deep one. As a survivor myself, it does touch because two things touch for me. We see a lot that, especially with the MAGA, they never ever want to believe any of these women that are coming out when they have been assaulted by somebody in the Republican Party, right? But they, I've been listening to all of these brave women's stories, right? And not once have I heard them say it was a transgender person. It was a person in the bathroom that was a transgender person. It was and I'm an LGBTQIA person in the rainbow. So they use these fake fear-mongering tactics to make people fear transgender people, the LGBT people. Meanwhile, they look away as soon as you have someone like Cassidy Hutchins say her story. Oh, no, that's false. We don't believe her. It's a lie. But then they will spew lies and say, oh, well, we're trying to keep kids safe and everybody safe from the bathrooms.
Right.
When this is in your face, this is happening. These
Yeah.
are true stories. This is the stuff that actually happens, and they don't want to accept it. They don't want to believe it. They would rather pin some false narrative on other on other people and try to push it aside, which makes me just so furious.
Wow.
That it makes absolute, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. And these are their own, she was a Republican.
Yeah.
She was a Republican.
He worked for him.
She worked for him. And yet still, because she's speaking up and telling the truth, oh, she has to be lying. And it disgusts me. It's like they are brainwashed. They would rather believe just malarkey than listen to a woman's story. That's a truth. It just doesn't make sense to me. And these men are disgusting. People like Snuggles, people like clickbait, disgust me. Like, you have no respect for women. None. It's like they want us to be back in the 1960s, and that's what it is. It's like, just shut your mouth, be barefoot, be pregnant, and stay in the house. Wow. That is their sense of make America great again.
Not gonna happen.
Rolling back women's rights. That is what their MAGA stands for. They just, oh, we don't believe women. No, that's why women didn't come forward back in those days, because they were afraid to.
Right.
And that is why women are afraid to still to this day. And these brave women are coming out and they are telling their stories, and they are still being persecuted by people like Snuggles and clickbait and maggots on the right. And it is disgusting to me. And I just don't understand how any woman can sit there and vote for any Republican man.
I don't either. It's almost like they're being held hostage in a way, but then when you talk with them, it's blows my mind, because they get out here and they say, the exact same things we're talking about are the problem.
Exactly. It's like they have Stockholm syndrome. It's just like they don't, it's just they've fallen in love with this hate, with this ideal, with I can't wrap my brain around exactly what it is that these women have fallen prey to. Like, what is it that makes them want to vote for an essayer?
Right.
Like, why would you? I don't get it. As a woman myself, why would you want to vote for one of the most grotesque people in the world? What would make you stick up for him over many women that have accused him of essay? Like, as a woman that has her own children, like, why? And that makes me feel like, as a mother, for these women, for these MAGA women that have children, it makes me fear for their children, because honestly, I wonder if they would believe their own children if their children were essayed.
Wow.
Would they believe it if they came to them and told them? Like, would they actually believe it, or would they just say, oh, well, what did you do? Are you sure that's what happened? That young man, he looks very respectful. I don't think he would do that. Are you sure you just didn't misunderstand his touch? Wow. Are you sure you didn't, maybe your shirt was a little too low, or your pants were a little too tight? Maybe, maybe you asked for that. That's the type of women that I think are MAGA women. Those women. Those are the type of women that I believe are the ones that vote for Donald Trump. And they disgust me. Because they have no shame. They have no shame, and they have no morals. They're fake Christians. Like, how? I just can't. Like, again, gloves are off, because at this point, there's no saying it nice. Gloves have been off. There's no saying it nice.
There is no saying it nice.
When you, and somebody in the other live, and I'm not going to say, no, I am going to say her name, Stacy. Stacy gets really ticked off when people say, well, you called us a racist. We're not racist. You're calling me names by calling me a racist, or you're calling me this or that. You know what? if you are going to vote for Donald Trump, if you're going to vote for the maggot party, that is what you are.
Bingo.
Period. The end. Well, I'm not racist just because I like him. No, yes, you are. You are guilty by association. Because guess what? If you vote for that man, his policies are what are going to affect everybody in this country. So you can sit there and say all you want that you're not racist, but the man that you choose to vote for, his policies will affect us. So think about that before you sit there and whine about being called something, because when you lie down with dogs, you get fleas.
No lies detected.
And that's just, it just drives me crazy. It just does.
Listen, I appreciate that though. Listen, you are bringing truth and you're amplifying it. And so I definitely appreciate you for doing that. And don't let these folks discourage you.
Oh, never that. You know that. We are fighting for all the truth and the justice in the kingdom, Zeus.
Hey, there you go.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to let you go. Let somebody else come up. But you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to go to casino and,
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Shady Lane. No lies detected. All right. Now, let's see. Clickbait is here. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. We're going to bring clickbait up because, number one, I'm curious. Number one, I'm impressed he actually survived and listened to all of this truth coming out. And I want to know where clickbait's mind is at after hearing all of this. All right, so let's have a nice little man-to-man conversation, clickbait. So
okay, here we are to the house of lies.
All right. And I get that's where you come from. All right, a very dark place. You've heard what we've been saying, right?
Of course.
All right. So
what's your question?
Is there anything you would like to add or speak to that resonates?
All I say is if Rudy Giuliani did what she said, then he should go to prison. Plain and simple.
Well,
but this is also the same woman that lied about Trump putting his hands around a Secret Service guy's neck. She lied about that. Come on now.
Okay.
So I mean,
I was waiting for you to get to doing what you're good at doing.
Well, I'm just saying, if you lie at one thing, you can lie at another thing. Not all people tell the truth, dude. To say they do.
All right.
And just like you coming out and saying that all MAGA men are rapists, dude, that's beneath you. That's beneath you.
Clickbait. Listen, we got to slow down, all right? I really am trying to talk, all right? Now, the first thing I want to address is you said if Rudy Giuliani did this, right? And then I'll get to my statement that you terribly misquoted. I said most MAGA men should go to prison, though. I did say that, but I don't know what crime.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie, dude.
No, there's more crimes MAGA men have done, all right? But
no, that's a lie. That's a lie.
All right. So you say if, right?
That's true. It's if. If he did it, he should go to jail. Okay. Those are facts.
So I'm just curious for you.
Were you there?
I'm just curious because we've heard a lot of brave women come in the box and share their life stories, and there's this thing where a lot of women don't feel like they can be heard if they were to come forward. And so if a woman comes forward and doesn't have evidence to prove she was the victim, what would you advise? Clickbait? Because
there's nothing. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you're going to say somebody touched you or raped you or anything, you need proof.
Listen, you got to use proof. You got to use SA. I know you don't go live, but you got to learn this stuff.
You need proof.
Okay, so if you don't have proof, and a woman is trying to let you know, I'm in distress, right? If a woman came to you in distress and she said, "Clickbait, could you help me?" Would you help her? Or would you say
absolutely?
No,
absolutely.
No, you can't say absolutely. Or would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or would you say, "No, ma'am, I can't help you because you don't have any proof for clickbait"?
No. I'm going to help her and see if there is proof. That'll
Okay,
be my
okay.
job if she comes to me. Cassidy Hutchinson hasn't come to me. She
No,
hasn't come to you.
but you said you're going to help her and then see if she has proof. So that sounds to me like that's your modus operandi, right?
That's called the judicial system. That's what it is. You have
Okay.
to have proof.
Okay. So Cassidy Hutchinson, her proof is she's worked for the former president, right? You agree?
She actually worked for Mark Meadows.
I mean, in the Trump administration.
There you go. Like I said, context means everything.
Okay, but and if you want to get technical, all right. So you confirming that she was in the Trump administration, all right?
Correct.
And do you think that she, had any access to Donald Trump?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so you got that
But
proof.
why you bringing up Donald Trump? He didn't do anything to her.
Well, he threw the spaghetti at the wall earlier. Did you hear that part? And
Well, the
she cleaned it,
spaghetti at the wall wasn't at her.
but she cleaned it up. So that to me,
Well,
do you think that happened?
so her cleaning it up means what? That she was
That
essayed by
No,
Trump?
no,
Come on,
no,
dude.
no.
Stop
We're
it.
talking
Cut.
about
Hey, like you
credibility.
say, cut
We're
it out,
talking
dude. Cut
about
it out.
credibility. Do you think that
You're
story was
reaching.
fabricated?
I could care less if he threw spaghetti at a wall.
No, I didn't ask
The
you how you feel. I said, do you think that story was fabricated? Because what I'm trying to get an understanding about is at what point do you take a victim serious? All right. And you said if she comes to you in distress, you're going to help her and then you're going to get proof. So I'm trying to figure out of all the stuff we've talked about that Cassidy Hutchinson has said, which of it do you think is fake and which of it do you think is real? So I asked you, do you think the throwing the spaghetti at the wall was fake or real? I didn't ask you how that was
I have
taken.
no idea. Neither do you. Did you see it thrown at the wall? You have no fucking idea. To
Did you
sit there and
just
say
curse?
you do, you
Did
don't.
you just curse?
You have no idea.
That's strike one, clickbait.
You have no idea what you're saying, though, Zeus. You have no idea.
No,
You just like
no.
me. I have no idea if he threw spaghetti at the wall, and neither do you.
Okay, so
Neither
you're
does
saying you
anybody
don't.
in your life.
So you're
You don't have
saying you
any
don't
idea.
believe it. Is that a yes or a no? I just need to know a yes or a no, clickbait.
Did you see it?
I'm
You,
asking you.
I didn't see it, so no. Unless I see something, I don't
Just
believe
stick to
anything.
no. Then just stick to no.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to
that's what I'm
listen. We
saying.
all know
Did you
you're
see it? Did you see
okay.
it? See, you should have ate your Wheaties. You can't
So
steamroll
next
me, man.
question, clickbait.
You
The
can't
Secret
steamroll me.
Service, they said that they were trying to take Trump, to the Capitol on January 6th because
Correct.
he demanded to be taken to the Capitol. And Miss Hutchinson has said that
That's what she said.
you don't believe it.
That's what she said. No, because the Secret Service came out and said that Trump never grabbed him by the neck or grabbed the steering wheel. There you
Okay,
go. So,
clickbait.
so who do you
Listen,
believe? Who do you believe? The Secret Service or Cassidy Hutchinson?
clickbait. Are you listen, what did you eat today? What, I mean,
Yeah, I ate my
maybe you
Wheaties.
can help me, clickbait. Why
Obviously,
are so many of you,
you
why do
haven't
MAGA
you
men
haven't eaten your Wheaties. You should have ate your Wheaties, dude. I don't get steamrolled by
clickbait,
you.
clickbait. Can I ask you a serious question? Why do so many Trump supporters get in the box and just start yelling?
Oh, I'm not yelling. I'm telling you, you're not going to steamroll me.
Do I have a steamroller?
Yeah, that's what you're trying to do.
Clickbait, you've seen my program. I rarely get into any kind of aggressive conversations. I
Of
don't
course you
learn.
do.
I
With
don't.
all
I don't
MAGA
learn
people.
that way. I don't learn that
I'm
way. All right. So I'm trying
I'm not
to. I'm
yelling. It
trying to
might
bring you
it
down.
might be that my volume is up high.
Okay. But you're at like a level 8 or 9. I'm gonna need you to come back to like 5.
Oh no. I'm at a
Okay.
level 2. If I was at an 8 or 9, trust me, you'd know it.
Okay. Whatever. If you're at a 2, can you get to a 0? All right. I need you to really slow it down. All right. Because we're just talking. We're just
Yeah, and I'm
talking.
giving you answers you don't like.
Well, I can live with that. I can disagree with you, all right? I'm just trying to figure out how you work.
Well, I'm telling you, you ask me a question, I give you the answers. If
All
you don't
right,
like it, that's too bad.
okay, so I just need you to answer the question, all right? So you're answering them. So you don't believe Miss Cassidy Hutchinson when she told the story about Secret Service grabbing Donald
No,
Trump
because
grabbing.
the Secret Service came out and said it wasn't true. So I'll believe the Secret Service.
All right.
And she
Uh,
wasn't there to see it.
okay,
She's going
okay.
by what someone else told her.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. All right. Do you believe the part where she talked about Rudy Giuliani? You know,
I have no clue. Either do you.
okay.
I have no clue. Were you there? I don't know.
Right. So just
If,
say
like I said,
no.
if Rudy did that, throw his ass underneath the jail. I don't like Rudy Giuliani. I can't stand him.
I get it. I get it. But I'm just trying to figure out, when do you believe women and when you don't believe women, clickbait. And again, if I was, I'm not trying to steamroll it, but I'll give you a hint.
You got you
I
got people
am
in here
trying,
saying that I said she was a liar about Rudy. I never said she was a liar about Rudy.
but I am
I said
trying
she
to
lied
find
about the
where you're
Secret
being
Service.
inconsistent at. All right. I'm trying to find where
I'm
you're
never
being.
inconsistent, dude.
Okay.
I'm never inconsistent.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Clickbait said he's never inconsistent. All right.
Never inconsistent.
All right, and I'm so far I'm in agreement with that. All right, so you don't believe the story she told about Rudy Giuliani?
I didn't say
Again,
that.
huh?
I
Well,
said
you
I
didn't
don't
say
know.
it. Okay, can I ask
I
this?
said I don't know if it's true or not.
All
You don't
right,
know if it's true or not.
and you and that would go for any man being accused of anything, correct?
That would be anybody.
Anybody?
I don't care. I don't care if it's
Anyone?
men or women. I don't care
Wait.
if it's you.
So what if there was
It
a
wouldn't
woman
matter to
that
me if it's you.
wait a second, clickbait. Now you're a Donald Trump supporter, right?
Well, I'm a Republican supporter.
But you support Donald Trump.
Whoever's the nominee gets my vote. I don't care if it's Trump. Anyone's Republicans getting my vote. I don't care who it is.
All right, so let's say, but you are also a man of principle.
Correct.
All right, see,
For my
I
for
get it,
myself.
I get you,
For myself.
I get it. So
For myself.
those lines of
Not for you.
along those lines, I'm a man of principles too, by the way. Along those lines, so would you offer those same principles to like President Biden? Are you okay with using those same principles to support President Biden, or is this where you start to kind of change it up?
But I don't really care about Biden, dude. He's not running the country anyways. That's just an old puppet
I'm just
standing up there
asking. But
with
would you
strings
give
on
him?
him.
Would you be a man and stick to those
Oh,
principles, even if it applied
bro,
to President Biden?
don't ask me if I would be a man. I am a man. Yeah, let's get your context in your mouth right.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Whatever floats your boat, clickbait. So, there's this situation that President Biden has been kind of dealing with, and I'm just trying to pick your brain, right? You ever hear of
Okay, what
this
situation?
woman, Tara Reid? You heard of her?
Of course I heard of her.
Do you think that what she's alleged President Biden has done is true?
I have no idea.
I mean,
Again, I didn't. I need to see corroborating proof for anything.
so as far as we're concerned, he's innocent of that, right?
Oh, absolutely, he could be. I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, so you're not one of these people that believes Tara Reid.
No, why would I?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to see if you're being consistent. All right. Now let's get into some politics. All right. So speaking of needing proof. All right. So in terms of these indictments that Donald Trump is currently dealing with, do you believe those indictments are real, or do you think this is all made up?
Well, of course the indictments are real, but we'll see if he's convicted when he goes to trial.
But do you think that, because I've heard you say before that this was all a situation planted by deep state, organized
You never heard me say that once. Quit making shit up.
That's number 2, clickbait. We're having a civilized conversation, I thought. All right.
Well, quit saying something I never said.
Well,
That's
you
strike.
said
That's
yesterday.
strike 2 on you.
I said, well, why do you think Donald Trump didn't get a second term? And what was your answer?
My answer is that the election was rigged under the disguise of COVID.
Right. So do you
Because
have proof of
hold
that?
on a second. Election laws were changed because of COVID. Those are facts.
Who changed them?
Democrats, my man.
Oh, so Donald Trump had nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Wasn't he the president?
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have control of that. The states do. Just like in Pennsylvania, the state, you have to go through the state legislature to change laws for voting, and they didn't. They did the same thing in Michigan.
But see, this is
You,
this
you,
is where
this is all true. This is all true and founded. Did you know this?
clickbait. See, I thought you were a person that needs proof.
Well, we already have proof. We already know they admitted to it. We already know this is a fact.
Who admitted it? So are you trying to tell me 50 states all colluded
I
together?
didn't. No. I didn't say 50 states. Did I say 50 states? So you put words in my mouth again.
So
That's what you do. That's what you
explain
do.
how it
That's what
works.
you do in your lives. That's what you do in your lives. You put words in people's mouths. No, you never heard me say 50 states.
Okay, so explain this
It's
to me,
just
oh
like your
great.
little maids in here saying, I'm getting walked. Bro, I don't get dog walked by nobody. And
Yeah.
it'll never be by you either.
Okay. So let's get down to this. All right. So what proof do you have of this claim you're alleging? Because you're a man that needs proof, right?
Because
So what's
the
the first?
Democrats,
What's
Democrats,
All right.
listen, are you going to let me answer the question? Or are you going to keep over talking me?
Oh
You said,
well.
here's the proof. Let me talk.
Okay. Where's my
There
manners?
you go.
Where's my
Oh,
manners?
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Have some manners. The Democrats in Pennsylvania said they didn't have to ask the state legislator because of COVID. It was an emergency declaration to be able to change voting rules because of COVID. Those are facts.
Mm.
It's just all your minions in here. They don't do their research, my man, like I do. All right. You can go do the research on this too and find it and find the Democrats saying exactly that in Pennsylvania. I'm not bringing any fallacies, bro. It's a fact.
So why did 60 was it 61, he tried to get 61 court cases to help, support this claim, and they all denied it. Why do you think that happened?
Because they weren't court cases about fraud. They were court cases about policy.
Hmm.
I mean, do some research, my man.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand this conspiracy because I've spoken
It's
to
not
a
a
lot of
conspiracy.
people about this conspiracy, and no one has been able to be as articulate as you, clickbait. So I thank you profusely for being able to explain this conspiracy. All right, so you're saying you're aware that he lost those cases because he went to court with the wrong
Oh,
court
yeah.
cases, right? He had the
Yes,
wrong court cases.
yeah. I would say,
Okay,
and that.
so then
Are you gonna? Hey, dude, you asked me a question. Can I fucking answer?
that's number 3. Next one, you're out. I'm being kind.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna ask me a question, then zip it so I can answer.
Well, I'm going to need you to answer the question, clickbait.
Well, I will, but you don't stop talking. You have to You have to close your mouth and let me speak.
Get it out,
I,
clickbait, and quit making
this,
excuses.
this is what I would say.
Okay.
You're trying to prove that there's some election interference or fraud or anything like that. You're never going to do that in a few weeks. So I knew he would never win a court case because you need time. You need time. Just like now, there's proof of it. You're going to see it. Just like when Elon Musk bought Twitter, you've seen the Twitter files came out that the FBI told Twitter and Facebook that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian
Okay. All
disinformation.
right. Now, clickbait. Can I go to the next part of this? Because I'm trying to get the whole story. I've never been able to hear this whole story out.
What story?
Normally,
What
when we
story?
get into the conspiracies, people get dropped. People get dropped normally, but because
There's no conspiracy. I'm giving you facts.
because you've been rocking with me for as long as you have, I am willing to endure this.
Facts, my man.
I,
Okay, what
I
do
just
you need to
want the
know?
whole story. So you were
Ask the next,
so let me
ask the next
understand you.
question.
Let me understand you. So you are aware he lost those cases because he basically had the wrong, he was going in there for the wrong thing. You said it was policy when it should have
Yeah.
been
You
about
can't.
fraud.
There's no way. There's no way you're going to be able to find fraud that fast.
Okay.
So
So
he was trying to. They were trying to do court cases on the policy of some states changing voting laws under the disguise of COVID, saying it was an emergency declaration on COVID.
okay.
And that when I would say the courts probably got it right for saying that, since we had a pandemic, all the ballot harvesting and all that was necessary. But obviously, now that ballot harvesting is no longer allowed.
Okay.
That's not going to happen anymore.
All right, sir. All right. And listen, you're doing a great job. All right. So along those lines, When we
Yo,
get to
bro.
the point, when we get to the point that you're realizing this is a bad case and it's not working, why do you think there's this narrative out there that the election was stolen?
Why do I? No, no. Because there's too many things happened. You know, people counting votes in the middle of the night. You know, there's a lot of things you've seen, dude. You can smile all you want. You know it's
No,
true.
no, no,
I
no, no.
understand. No, no, let me speak. I understand that you come on TikTok and you do this to make money, and this is your shtick. You know, it's a lot of satire more than facts, for sure. But what I'm saying is a
You
fact.
got me, clickbait. You got me. So can
I
we get
always
to
get
the
you, man.
answer? Can we get to the answer?
That's what
There's a
I do.
narrative.
I
There's a
get I
narrative,
get
clickbait.
everybody.
All right, all right. So there's a narrative that the election was stolen. You're saying on record today you don't believe it was stolen.
No, no, I'm saying it was rigged. It was rigged under the disguise
I
of COVID.
so you don't believe it was stolen. You believe it was rigged.
I definitely believe there was rigging going on because of COVID. Facts. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So won't you just say Zeus? I don't believe it was stolen.
Rigged and stolen's the same thing, my man. If you
Oh,
rig an election, that is stolen. I mean, are you smart?
oh,
You're smart enough to know that?
oh! I didn't know. So you believe
Yeah.
it was
Well, I mean,
stolen?
that's why I'm smarter than you.
Well,
You know,
okay,
I
but
know more than you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you believe it was stolen, but you also believe that Donald Trump basically went to court with the wrong court cases.
No, no, no. I'm saying they went to court for policy, not fraud. They're
And
never
there,
going to
and
prove.
you agreed with the courts.
No, no, no. I do agree with the courts because there's
Okay,
not enough
so
time to prove. Not
okay,
enough time
so
to prove it.
okay,
Not enough time to prove it.
okay,
You need
so
more time to prove it.
okay, and me and you, one thing we love is proof, right? You earlier we talked about how important it is to have proof.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
so as it stands, you have no proof it was
I
stolen.
do. I just gave you proof
No, no,
that it was
no. The
rigged.
cases, the cases give
Yes.
you the
Hold on now. When you have the FBI saying that the Hunter laptop was Russian disinformation, that's rigging election with big tech, my man. Because then big tech banned people from even talking about the.
I get it. I didn't do it. Clickbait. What happened, clickbait? I didn't drop you, clickbait. Nope. I was actually, I went further than I've ever gone in a MAGA conspiracy with that. So I had no reason. I was invested in that story, clickbait. But we got to the point. Can you come back up, clickbait? Where did you go? Did someone did he get reported, I guess? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I listened. You heard all of that stuff, but I was locked into that story, and we got to the part where I wanted the proof of the election being stolen. And by the way, clickbait, thank you for absolving President Biden of the Tara Reade thing. All right, TikTok got him. Yeah, all right. Well, so what I learned from clickbait today is that Tara Reade has no credibility. So that I should never hear clickbait talking about President Biden being accused of SA, right? I got that. And so far, what we came to the conclusion about is Donald Trump was trying to challenge the election using policy when he should have used fraud, right? And so that's why he lost. And then when I asked, well, but where's the proof that it was stolen? Because he said it was stolen. He said the proof is what so and so said, and some videos that I saw with Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. Is that right? And clickbait, I wanted to get to the point where you and I both came to the understanding that just because people make statements, that alone isn't evidence. Someone's statements, clickbait, that's not enough to change the outcome of an election, all right? Because let's just be honest, clickbait. You got Zeus and all of his friends getting on, and we share and we talk all the time. Does that mean that we pretty much are going to get everything we say we want? Absolutely not. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give clickbait a round of applause. Actually, we're going to give clickbait his booze and shame. He tried. You know, it's always fascinating when you get a Trump supporter in the box. All you got to do is just let them talk. Just let the MAGA men talk, or the MAGA women too. Just let them talk, and they get themselves reported and in trouble. My hands are back here. I got my little notepad here. I'm taking notes, listening to clickbait. He's calling me all kinds of nasty names. None of them are true, all right? And I knew they weren't true. Every time he tried to use it as a distraction, nope, I'm not going to fall for that trick, clickbait. You're trying to make me say something and get myself in trouble. I'm not going to do it, clickbait. And that's what he was. He's clickbait. And he just got himself in trouble. All right, he got himself in a nasty situation. I'm pretty sure he's in TikTok jail for at least a week. They do it to themselves. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, join me before I get up out of here. Join me, all right, in sending off clickbait. We're going to send clickbait off the old-fashioned way, where he can be with Snuggles in TikTok prison for at least a week. Let's salute him and send him off. That part right there. All right, all right. That's it. That's all. That's the best way to send MAGA off, the old-fashioned way. Another one has bit the dust. It's so sad, but it's work I'm going to be committed to doing here on out. All MAGA, listen up. You're always welcome to come in the box, but my thing is, most of the time, you got to apologize to the United States of America for what you've done, all right? But if not, you got to take on the consequences that come with getting in the live and spewing lies and misinformation, all right? So we're going to end and go on about our lovely weekends, all right, ladies and gentlemen? And before we leave, though, let's hear the beautiful poetic words of President Biden one last time, who we all know is going to get a second term.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election, and they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 election. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards.
What? All right, so we're going to go and have a great rest of our day. And I'm going to let Clickbait know, he's probably sending me a bunch of messages, but I'm going to tell Clickbait he got to sharpen up his story and be able to get it out a lot quicker before you get reported, all right? And make it make sense, make it cohesive enough so we can follow along with the conspiracy before you get reported, all right? You and Snuggles, every time you get on that nasty train of lies, they call it, they say they're on the Trump train, right? That nasty Trump train on their way to hell, all right? And this is why we do what we do out here on TikTok, all right? Because, listen, somebody has to hold these folks accountable. Clickbait, your story is full of holes and it's full of lies. The election wasn't stolen by President Biden. What you refuse to recognize, clickbait, is that the will of the American people is louder and stronger than the lies of MAGA. All right? And the MAGA lies, they've came and now they're on their way out. Yes, we're taking the MAGA lies out like we take the trash out once a week, all right? And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to continue to do it, all right? Clickbait, listen up. Wherever you're fishing and getting your information, the jig's up. It's not reliable, it's not credible, and it's doing a terrible thing to your mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, clickbait. All right, and you're wasting your mind and you're behind on Donald Trump. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, take care and have a great rest of your day.
Who follows the most handsome in the kingdom?
Too bad.
Sound mind made for me. This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus.
You can't make this stuff up.
Till I pull up like Zeus. Thunder in the sky, light you up like Zeus. I make my own rules.
I'm a god, call me Zeus.
I'm fired in the eagle.
Hey,
hey. Took a long time to get here.
And I'm feeling brand new.
You living like a bum. Get away from me, fool. I got money on my mind. I can't leave it up to you. I can't hang around with you. You fall in love too quick. You a high risk. If I'm in the mix, I put a bounty on your head. This is way above the feds. When you playing with the gods and you playing with the dead.
I'm your worst nightmare, MAGA. I really am. Heaven.
Play with your caboose. I know the ladies love me cause I'm sweet like a tooth. Player hating on the gods, but he's such a douche. I tried to be patient, but you had to light my fuse.
I'm catching all these snakes like a mongoose. Hey. I scare you. Cut it out. Who said that? Honeybee. Angela Davis. Honeybee, I scare you. Trust me. That's clickbait. You and clickbait. Y'all go hang out over there to snuggle fly.
I make my own rules. I'm a god, call me Zeus. I'm hotter than Hades and I'm burning down the roof. You say you wanted facts, well, I'm living proof. I've been waiting for this moment now. I gotta choose. If you play around with love, then you guaranteed to lose. I didn't make the game of rules, so don't play me like a fool. If you can't swim, don't be in the pool. Even though I'm hot, people telling me you cool. I'm just sitting on my throne while you looking like a goof. Time to let loose with the truth. Yeah, grab your goose. Hey, little mama, let me play with your caboose. I know the ladies love me cause I'm sweet like a tooth. Playing hating on the gods, boy, you such a douche. Tried to be patient, but you had to light my views. Catching all these snakes like a mongoose. These ladies love me, yeah, I'm the one that they choose. You know I'm so handsome, that's why they call me Zeus. This is how I move when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Don't be playing with my mood when I'm moving like Zeus. Thinking that you're cool till I pull up like Zeus. Thunder in the sky.
The gloves are up, yeah.
Rules, I'm a god, call me Zeus.
Yeah, you know about me.
He's deranged.
Get wild and loose.
Jack Smith.
The goddess of God, you know what I'm saying? I break it down the room for different.
Oh my gosh. Got himself
Now
in
mine on
trouble.
the beat, kicking hard like Bruce. Lord Reed on the beat. Better call the truth, ladies.
Look at the ring.
I can dance the box.
All right. Let's give it. Clickbait. Sing it, clickbait.
He's deranged. Jack Smith. On the beat, deranged. Jack Smith. He's deranged. Jack Smith. You heard he's deranged.
Say it with us, clickbait.
Donald Trump is indicted and they take one charge and they turn it into 36 charges. And he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater.
Right.
Jack Smith.
Say it with us,
He's a Trump
clickbait.
hater. His wife's a Trump hater. His family's a Trump hater. They all hate Trump. They hate him with a passion. They'll do anything they can to hurt Trump. But he's a harasser and an abuser.
Oh.